Housing Minister Ajay Maken says that the real estate bill aims to curb money laundering and brings transparency in the sector. He also believes that the bill protects the interests of the consumers. Remember, this comes a day after the regulatory bill or the real estate regulator bill has been really cleared by the cabinet. So take a look at what Ajay Maken had to say.
Bill proposes to take. Do you think some of them can actually be detrimental to the sector as a whole?
I don't think so. And some people who are saying this, they are the very people who never wanted this regulatory bill to come up. And by raising this bogey, they want that on this pretext, this bill be derailed. Let me tell you what are the punitive provisions. As far as the economic or financial punitive provisions are, it ranges from 3 to 10%, depending upon various anomalies which these promoters or developers do.
Right.
When it comes to imprisonment, it will be only if they do not register, which means that they do not obtain statutory clearances, if they do not get the land use change, if they do not get the building plan sanctioned, if they do not get the environment clearances, and that too after repeated warnings from the regulator to these promoters. They keep on selling. Then only the imprisonment will take place. And earlier on, it was more stringent. Earlier on, it was on other issues also that they could be imprisoned.
Right.
But what we are now saying is that only in such cases where they do not register and they keep on selling land, keep on selling the apartments or keep on selling
these
it.
provisions
So,
will kick in.
Yeah.
Right, sir. Just one question on the fact that the real estate stocks today reacted pretty sharply on a regulator coming in and probably, adding to more licenses or more clearances probably in the sector. Do you think that's a misplaced a fear that the real estate companies have?
I don't think so that this is going to happen, because I have talked to a number of bankers. I have talked to bankers before getting this bill cleared to the cabinet and even today, and they are all very happy. They say that this will lead into a lot of money from the banks and financial institutions being pumped into the real estate sector.
Mm-hmm.
Earlier on, they were also apprehending whether the land is free from any encumbrances, whether the land is whether the developer has obtained all statutory clearances or not.
Mm-hmm.
Now, once a regulator there is in force, then they would be very happy that everything is clear.
Right.
When we are saying that the money for the construction of this project should be kept separately, it would ensure that the project will complete in time. So the bankers, they want only these two things.
Right.
So the bankers and financial institutions are very happy that their money would be safe, and if they are happy, then more money would be pumped in. So I don't see a problem with this kind of situation.
So one question as far as the provisions that you mentioned, how much more investments do you really envisage in this sector? Because banks, financial institutions typically stay away from real estate.
Well, as far as the CRE in housing sector is concerned, in 1997, the CRE housing sector, the RBI, the cash devolution by the RBI was 1.9 billion US dollars.
Mm-hmm.
In 2011, it went from $1.9 billion to $67 billion.
Mm-hmm.
The RBI's cash deployment in CRE sector.
Right.
So it is now 8% of the total devolution that the CRE housing sector takes care of. So this is mainly going into the home buyers. This is mainly going into the individuals who want to buy the home. It also goes to the real estate developers also when they take money from the banks. But I think with this bill once getting enacted, more money will come to the developers and to the promoters other than the individual home buyers.
Right.
So this is something which through which we will see many more projects coming. This will lead into a situation where the banks would be more than willing to fund money into this sector, because their return would be assured.
So one last question, as far as the clause of a project money being incorporated and used only in that particular project, how much of a dent will that be? Because real estate companies feel that could really spoil the party for them, because project proceeds have to be used in that particular project.
Well, we have changed this provision. Earlier on, it was 70% of the total money collected from the home buyers what was to be kept aside. We have changed this provision. What now we have said, 70% or less only to cover construction cost.
Right.
So if suppose I am a home buyer, I give 1,000 rupees, say 1,000 rupees to buy a particular, not 1,000 is too less, say 10 lakh rupees to buy a
Right.
flat.
Right.
So if suppose out of these 10 lakh rupees, 4 lakh rupees is to be used for construction, at least keep that 4 lakh rupees aside to construct the project. You use the rest of the 6 lakh because it is your profit, it is your investment on land. But at least those 4 lakh rupees which you have taken my money to give to, I have bought the flat. So this is what we are talking about. That is why we have changed this. We have said that 70% or less to cover the construction cost should be set aside so that the project completes in time.
And are you hopeful that it will be taken up in the next session of Parliament?
Well, I intend to introduce, and once it is introduced, it goes to the standing committee. They would deliberate upon the bill, and we intend to enact it as soon as possible.